I never want to live without you. You're the reason I smile, and it's all because of you. All I wanna do is love you. Finally, my dreams to come true. I never wanna live without you. You're the reason for life, the reason I smile. Oh, and it's all because of you.
Commish Radio Show back again. That was Kenya C. Facebook. Don't cut us off there. We own the rights to that song as well. Kenya C., one of the colleagues of ours on the well, it's not Facebook, on the Commish Radio Show. What were we listening to?
That was Kenya C. and the Ions Band when she performed live in Fort Worth.
That's right.
Austin Event Center.
That's right. Sending a shout out, if you will, to Jim Austin, Austin Online, one of our strategic partners. We were just over there last week with the legendary creators, and they will be back again on June 2nd. So I'm the master of ceremonies over at the Austin Event Center. Join us the first Saturday of the month. We got some great upcoming events that are coming, and we also have some great things that are coming here live here on the Commish Radio Show. And one of the people that's live, of course, is Ruby Faye Woolridge, and she's sitting beside us right now. I'd like to also send a shout out and hello to Sean King. Yep, the Sean King.
Wow.
Sean King was listening in earlier, and hopefully he's still tuning in. I understand you hung out with me and Sean King.
I did. It was a great day in Dallas when I met you and Sean King. A lot was going on. Tons of people there, and the energy was high, high, high.
Yep. And last time we saw each other, we were hanging out with, Al Sharpton.
We were hanging out with Al Sharpton at the NAACP Gala and Banquet in Arlington. It was a packed house. It was fun. We got a chance to say hello to everybody, and the food was fantastic. And
yeah,
so
it was.
great.
Tell them what we had.
Gosh, it was so fancy. It was some kind of chicken I couldn't describe, but it was really No, I take it back. It was chicken and waffles. Can you believe it? A banquet with chicken and waffles with greens and cornbread and all the good stuff your grandma makes.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't have no hot water cornbread.
No hot water. We had homemade good food, and it was awesome.
So that's what was going on there, and that happened in Austin.
Arlington,
rather,
at the convention center.
But that happened in the Arlington Convention Center.
Mm-hmm.
You've been running fast and furious.
I have been running so fast that I'm getting furious. It's really been fun. Faith and I go through so many days. We can't tell which day ends and the next day starts. We just finished campaigning with our opponents. And when I say that, I mean Jake Elsey on the Republican side and Jonathan Sanchez on the Democratic side down in Corsicana at Corsicana City Hall. We were at a forum sponsored by the Corsicana Chamber of Commerce. It was great. It was very impressive. And we had a chance to interact with the good citizens. It was a standing room only crowd. Very good.
Now, your district, you said Corsicana. We just got through talking about Arlington. The district runs all the way down to Corsicana?
The district is huge. There's 737,000 voters. There are citizens. There are 300,000 students, 16 school districts, and it goes from East Fort Worth down around South Fort Worth and McCart Sycamore School Road. Then it goes to Crowley. It comes back through Kennedale, Mansfield, Grand Prairie, Tarrant County portion, Dalworthington Gardens, Pantego, 90% of Arlington. It takes in the whole area of Ellis County, including Waxahachie, Midlothian, Ennis, and on and on and on, down through and including Navarro County. So we have 3 counties in District 6, Tarrant, Ellis, and Navarro.
And you just explained what's wrong with that district.
What? Yep, you got it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. Okay, you're running for the office for that.
Yes.
But let me go ahead and say we need to do something about gerrymandering of districts. We really do. We really need to do something about that. President Obama had mentioned, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, about the very same thing. We have a district, you said McCart.
We go from McCart and Sycamore School Road,
McCoy and Sycamore.
and then we go to Hanley, Meadowbrook, Eastern Hills.
People in McCoy and Sycamore don't have anything in common with nobody in Navarro County.
Not much, unless they move there from Navarro.
That's the only thing that would
And there
happen.
are a few that have moved from Corsicana to live around the area you're talking about.
Right, I understand that, but
Yeah.
it needs to be, as they say, communities of interest.
Well,
But that's not you have a rural district, and then you have an urban district,
mhm,
and that's code for black inner city type thing.
mhm.
That's not my word. That's their word for it when they say
But we
urban.
actually have 2 rural districts, Ellis and Navarro.
Ellis and Navarro.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you got to make sure you don't lump them all together because people in Waxahachie
That's
going
right.
to take offense to you comparing people in
Corsicana.
Corsicana.
Yes, right.
That's a big rivalry.
There you go.
that's
That's
like-
competition.
That's like Dallas and Fort Worth
Mm-hmm.
with Mark Vesey's district again.
Mhm.
Gerrymandering the districts again. You end up having Mark Vesey's district, which is Fort Worth, and then you have it going all the way over into Dallas.
Well, and parts of Arlington is in Mark Vesey's district. Did you know that the ballpark, the building, is in District 6, which is my
Mhm.
district? The ballpark parking lot is in Mark Vesey's district, and then the football stadium in its parking lot is in Mark Vesey's district.
What? Say that
You-
again?
The ballpark's
Okay.
building, the actual ballpark Globe Life building, is in District 6.
Right.
The Globe Life building's parking lot remember, it's across the street from the building. It's in Mark Vesey's District 33. And the football stadium is in District 33, and the football stadium parking lot's in District 33.
So I can look outside this window right
Mhm.
here and see 2 different congressional districts.
Exactly. You got it.
What we need to do on the Commish radio show is we need to play football literally in 2 districts. That's a big
Mhm.
stunt. I think I'll do it. But anyway, we need to go ahead and play football in those districts, and I'll throw from one district to another to explain
Okay.
the absurdity of gerrymandering. I'll say, Jesse, you're in district, which one you say it was?
I'm in District 6.
District 6.
Yeah, that's me.
And
No, excuse me. Jared Jones is in District 33.
Okay, 33. So I have Jesse staying in 33, and we just
Uh-huh.
tossing.
Mhm.
That doesn't seem right.
Right. And then
Doesn't
John
seem-
Daniels and the baseball folk are in District 6 in the building. But
In
in
the
the parking lot,
The parking
they're
lot.
in Mark Vesey's district.
That's crazy.
That's gerrymandering.
That's Jerry.
Isn't that interesting? Listen to this. District 6 used to go all the way to Houston.
All the way to Houston.
It used to go all the way to Houston. That's where it stopped. They cut it around to make sure that my former opponent, Joe Barden, would stay in power. So they cut it the way they needed. They packed and stacked various communities in the area to make sure they carved out enough Republican voters.
That means we really don't have any kind of real representation.
No, at this point, unless the citizens get up and vote like their conscience and their concerns will lead them to, Joe Barden and the Republicans have already picked their voters. The voters are not picking them. They have picked their voters, gerrymandering.
So you go around one neighborhood.
There you go.
You go around there.
hmm You notice when I was saying something about Fort Worth, I didn't mention Stop 6 or Como.
Stop 6 and Como.
Did you notice I didn't mention them in the area that I
You don't
talked
think
about?
black people in Stop 6 and Como will vote for Joe Biden?
It's
Okay,
probably
we'll go
about
to the next
it's probably about
question.
5 or 6.
I'll go to the next question. Yeah. So now what we're talking about as well, now we've talked about gerrymandering.
Mm-hmm.
And as we go into some other questions regarding your campaign, you're in this runoff here.
Mm-hmm.
What's your pathway to victory?
My pathway to victory is very simple. We're going to do all we can to reach out to as many people as we can in all the ways we can to make sure they get to the polls. We already have some folks that have voted for us because we started as soon as the data was available, calling and reaching out to those people who mailed in their votes because I wanted the mail-in votes. So I'm courting my people. I'm going back to the folks that I know voted for me and that are more likely to vote again in the runoff. The next thing we're doing is we're block walking in those neighborhoods and those precincts that voted in the primary and that voted primarily for me or voted for the 2 people who supported me, John Duncan or Justin Snyder. We know they didn't vote for my opponent. So that gives us 3 chances to gain a victory.
So you have the endorsement of
We have endorsement of John Duncan and Justin Snyder, who I ran against in the primary.
any other endorsements you want to mention?
Oh
at
my
this time?
goodness. I have Eddie Bernice Johnson, Congresswoman. I have Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. I have the Dallas Morning News endorsement, the Fort Worth Star Telegram endorsement. I have the endorsement even of the Dallas Chinese Daily. I have the Black Women's PAC endorsement, the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, Fort Worth Educators Association, which is TSTA and NEA. I also have Chris Turner's endorsement, who is our state representative here in District 101. I have former Mayor Elsie Odom. I have the mayor of Kennedale, Brian Johnson's endorsement. I have Christine Moss from the Fort Worth School Board, Polly Walton from the Arlington School Board, Keisha Mays from the Arlington School Board, T.A. Sims from the Fort Worth School Board. I have Mayor Pro Tem in Corsicana, Ruby Williams endorsement. I have the board member from Navarro Junior College, Faith Holt in Corsicana, have her endorsement. I have a member of the school board in Corsicana's endorsement. I have so many folks, I can't name them all. Most
It sounds
important,
like you did a pretty good job.
I'm working
Now,
on
on
it.
the ones that you did name, could you name them all, but do them backwards?
No, I cannot. Forgive me, I'm battling with sinuses and allergies, but we've been working hard. Plus, I have the endorsement of Pastor James Thompson from Mount Olive Baptist Church, Pastor Kennedy Jones from Greater Community Baptist Church, and several others. We have pastors from Corsicana that have endorsed me as well. Also, the leader of the Ellis County African American Museum, Dr. Rashid, is also endorsed.
I'm on the
Ruby
board of
Faye
directors
Woolridge.
for that. for the
Well,
museum as
thank
well.
you. I also have the endorsement of newly elected city council member in Glen Heights, Ashanta Newsom.
All right. It seems like you've been doing your work.
I've been working it. I'm reaching out. Everything is about relationships. And so I've been working to build my relationships and understand what people need and what folks want.
Now, I have a question regarding your district. Since that district is so diverse, the district is diverse between, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which we're talking about up here, and the rural areas of Navarro and also Ellis County. In Ellis and Navarro County, there's a question regarding the bullet train going down to Houston. You mentioned earlier about Houston.
Yes.
That bullet train is supposed to go through Ellis and Navarro County.
It is scheduled to go through Ellis and Navarro County along with Smith counties and several others. And there is some concern on the part of landowners in Navarro and in Ellis counties. Here's where I stand on that. I have convened a meeting with the landowners and the farmers in Ellis County, and we got together and met with the owners of the bullet train, and we sat at a table just like this. Of course, it was a little bit bigger. And we talked about the differences that they had, and we talked about their common values. Their common values is they want what's best for the state of Texas. The differences lie in the people are going to have to sacrifice their land, but they will be paid for it. They're going to have to sacrifice the peace and quiet that they moved out into the country for. But what they won't have to sacrifice is having a bullet train to divide their land up, because the train is going to go above their land so that they continue to farm their cattle or raise their ranches or do whatever, or raise their crops. So there's going to have to be a lot more work to get them to yes. But I believe it's something that's going to happen, and I believe it's going to impact and improve the economy.
What's the support in that's your opinion?
That's my opinion.
But what are the people's opinion of it?
They're different. If you're a landowner and you're in the path of it, you're against it. Others that don't have the land are not concerned. They look forward to having a way to get to Houston lately and having a better transportation system. I tried to drive to Corsicana the other day on we started out on 20, we got stuck. We rerouted to 67, we got stuck. We went to 287, we got stuck, and we just gave up and sat on 287 until it opened up. Now we have a problem.
How long did it take you to drive?
Well, I think it took us about 2 hours. Normally it takes 1 hour and 9 minutes, but not that day.
2 hours?
Yep.
To drive there in this district?
In this district, and we're talking last Thursday.
So it wasn't like a Friday?
No, it was Thursday. And we didn't leave in rush hour traffic. We left before rush hour traffic. So it really doesn't matter. You know, we're getting 1,000 people a day moving into Texas. We must find a way to move those people around the state. They're not just going to stay in their one town all day unless they're homebound. And if you get on I-30 in Arlington, you might as well just learn patience. If you get on I-20 in Arlington, you might as well have more patience. And Lord help you if you're trying to go down 360 in the morning or 360 in the evening. You're going to be in trouble. But now I must say something positive about 360.
Mhm.
Yesterday, I was privileged to be at the grand opening of the Rosa Parks Memorial Parkway, which is a portion of 360 from Camp Wisdom South. Okay. That was a great thing. But we need more roads like that. But it is a toll road. We need more open roads and different facilities to move people. Because right now, we are way behind the curve in getting people from point A to point B. And we've got to find a way. And there are matching federal grants that could go along with state grants, that could go along with local communities and cities and private partnerships so that we can improve our transportation systems.
All right. So another question that I have regarding the transportation issues that you have. How do you get all of these people at the same table?
I got on the phone and I started calling. And I met one person who was a landowner, and he had a group that he was affiliated with. And so he gave me their numbers, and I called them, and that group knew some other groups. So it's just like the power of one. You make one phone call, it leads you to 50 people.
Okay. Now, one of the criticisms that your opponent has had regarding your campaign is basically say that you've lost other elections before, and therefore they should disqualify.
I'm so proud that that's brought up, because you knew when I ran my first race in 1989, and when I ran my first race, no person of color had ever run for school board in Arlington in the history of that city. So I used doors. We were so poor, and me and some other teachers, that we went and bought doors for $1 a door, painted them yellow, and then stenciled my name on the door. Because that was the first campaign. We didn't know what we were doing, but we were trying to be a part of democracy. So I literally opened up doors for people like her who had never run before to have the opportunity to run. Because I ran, Elsie Odom ran the next year. And then he lost that year, but he ran the next year and got on city council. Because I ran, there are several women and Hispanics and Blacks and Asians that have run because Ruby Faye opened the door. Progress does not come fast. And the other part of history I think that is missed is that the greatest president that I can remember was Abraham Lincoln. He ran 8 times. What if he'd stopped at number 7? Where would we be? I'm proud of every race I've run.
I smile because of what you said. I remember you running in 1989, and at that time you was the first Black person to run for political office in Arlington. And you're right.
And first person of color, whether it's Hispanic or Asian, none of them had run before.
Right, I understand that, and I believe I was the 3rd or the 4th one to actually run. So,
there you go.
So I was in that box with you,
and
but you were there before me. You were
that's
there by
right.
yourself.
I was opening doors, and it's not easy. And it saddens me that a person who benefited from me running is now running me down because I ran so that she could run. She was old enough to run in 1989. Why didn't she get out there and open those doors? Hey, don't throw rocks if you're not going to be in a parade.
Well, I think the criticism was more or less that you had lost those.
Well, but see, when you are a person of color and you are not backed by the power and the establishment, that's going to happen. You run not because you believe that you're going to have all the money you need. You run because you know people need to have a voice. And I've been standing up doing that for a long time. And I like to take that same attitude to Washington. I don't worry about those small things. But I got to say this. Money don't vote. People do. Think about it.
That's it. Well, Strip, I think we got to leave on that one, man. We got to take a break on that one. We're not leaving. We're going to take a break. We got to. I wish you had some money drops or something like that, because she killed it with that last one. You see how she looked at me? Strip, what we gonna play next? And we'll be right back. We're gonna just stay live on the Facebook Live portal. What we got, Strip?
We go Fishbowl Radio Network, Commish Radio Show.
All right.
What's up, beautiful peoples out there? It's your boy Mar, a.k.a. Cool Pop Watson, baby. Make sure you check my man out 3 to 5 every Saturday. Commish Radio Show. Make sure y'all come check my man out.
Tune into the Commish Radio Show on Fishbowl Radio Network.
And they were so thoughtful.
Hello out there. My name is Byron Williams, former NFL player. I'm with the NFL Players Association. And when I'm not in the community, I'm listening to Mr. Ed Gray, the Commish.
And I invited them to my event.
My name is Dr. Irvin D. Sempster Jr. I am the Executive Director for the Justice League of Texas. And when I want to find out more information about social and political issues, I listen to the Commish radio station.
Yeah, come on, we got $4 margarita.
Stay tuned. You are now listening to the Commish Radio Show.
If you are a business owner that contributed to a qualified retirement plan, such as a 401k or SEP, there's a little known way to cut your taxes by as much as 40% when you start withdrawing funds in retirement. This strategy will even allow you to avoid required minimum distributions. Call Ray Hodges Financial Group today at 214-810-5881 and schedule an appointment, including your CPA, to discuss this strategy. It's your money until you give it away.
When I am in Kinshasa, I listen to the Commish show from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Fishbowl Radio Network. We are international. We are so happy that you are there listening to us. Thank you.
Très heureux de vous avoir à l'écoute à partir de Kinshasa. Nous suivons la radio Commish à partir de 15h à 17h sur Radio Fishbowl Radio Net. Merci d'être à l'écoute dans cette radio.
Hey, what up, world? This is Faz Clark, better known as Faz the Nation. I'm here chilling with the Commish. Make sure you check him out every Saturday from 3 to 5. He's playing all the hot new slamming music. Check it out.
This is Deja and 8 times 2, and we listen to the Commish Radio here on the Fishbowl Radio Network.
Hi, this is author Joyce King. When I'm not writing, I am listening to the Commish Radio Show with Ed Gray.
Hi, this is Lori Irby Jackson. I'm a columnist with the Dallas Morning News' Briefing. Whenever I get a spare moment in between writing, I always listen to the Commish.
This is Dr. Jeffrey R. Mitchell, President of Solid, on the baddest radio in the land for sports, news, entertainment, and what's going on in our community. Tune in to the Commish, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
You like the camera?
Yeah, the camera's enhancing my
look at
looks.
that.
Hey,
You see,
I'm like, who is that? Ooh.
See, the last time you was on the show, you had so much fun with the drop and everything.
Yes.
You play that one too.
Yeah.
You've been getting lucky off of me lately. I didn't notice that. Sean King be with you, and then you get all your likes off of that. Then you dance and everything. You rolling high these days.
Hey, God is good.
Yeah,
Remember?
all the time.
My
right?
faith is what put me here. My faith will see me through.
Well, yeah, it's always good to have faith.
Yes.
Always good to have
and
faith.
wait a minute. This is a play on words. I asked for help, and God sent me Faith. Faith
I looked over that earlier. And said that.
Her Faith. Her name is Faith Morgan.
I met Faith. Well, we've known each other now for a whole 4 or 5 months now.
Yeah, she was here the last time I came. Yeah.
No, she was here. I spoke with her when I did the MLK.
Oh, that's right, down in Waxahachie.
Yep.
Yeah, because she lives in Waxahachie. She lives around the corner from my apartment.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow. It's Waxahachie's small like that. Small.
Yeah, to her it's big, okay? To her it is big.
And we can't open up the water that you gave us because I want to be in compliance. She's going to get us, isn't she, Strip?
Oh, yeah.
Sammy G will get us with the water.
Sammy, you're going to get out of compliance with
out
the
of
water?
compliance,
Okay.
But, you gave us some water, which is good. And a runoff election, early voting is May 14th, which is around the corner here.
Monday.
Monday.
That's right. Your timing was good.
You have impeccable timing. May 14th.
To the 18th. We only have a week. They don't have 2 weeks. They have 1 week to vote.
1 week.
1 week and no weekends.
How you getting these people out?
Oh my gosh, we are using every media source available. We're doing radio, which we will be taping next week. We're doing phone banking, which we've had going on since the week after the primary. We have walkers that are walking right now while you and I are talking. Mm-hmm. We have social media people that are doing social media marketing, advertising. We're doing Twitter. We're doing, what is that when you text it? You name it, we're after it. And of course, I do my retail campaigning. I love to go places. I've been to several places this morning and afternoon, and when I leave here, I'm going to go to several others. I meet 200 or 300 people at a time when I go to social gatherings, and I make sure I go to every single table that I can.
Well, you getting enough rest?
Yes.
How many hours sleep you get?
I think I'm getting 6.
Oh, you're getting plenty of rest.
Yes,
Yeah,
I go home. My house might be a mess, but that's
You just
okay.
not having no fundraisers at your house, right?
I don't. Hey, my dog gets fed. He's happy. I go home and crash, take a bath, get up and do it again because it's like training for a marathon.
So this marathon you're doing now is hopefully it will lead you to the U.S. congressional seat.
That our goal is to
what
be
you're
led
going
right.
for. That's what you're going.
That's our goal. Our goal is for us to go all the way with Ruby Faye to Washington, D.C. in January 2019. Of course, the election is in November. It's November 6th, 2018. But my faith brought me here, and I believe my faith is going to take me on.
Now, this district that you have now is voted Republican for the last, it's voted for Republican for the last 20, 30 years.
It's been the last exactly 32.
32? See, you must be a school teacher. You just corrected me. I said 20, 30 years. Yeah, exactly 32. So now that being said, how can you get Democrats to come out and vote?
Well, first of all, we need to examine our demographics. Our demographics is that the district is 55% people of color.
Right.
That means 45% are not.
Right.
Those 45% have been determining how the district is going to vote for the last 32 years or more. And now there is a sea change coming, and we are at the position to take advantage of that because people know me from the 2016 race. And the issues that I represented in 2016 are even more pressing in 2018 because the education has gotten more pressing. Healthcare is not improving. The job market is not trickling down. People are not getting more money in their paychecks. They're still worried about immigration, and we're still not taking care of our veterans. So that gives me an edge. Plus, we are working it like we didn't work it in 2016. We have some additional supporters that you just heard me rolling off. We've got people coming. We have attorneys that hadn't been involved before. We've got teachers that haven't been involved before. People are waking up because of our illustrious president. The change is on the way. I'm going to give you a short story. We were in Corsicana on Thursday, right, Faye? Okay. Well, we spoke to everybody. Me, my Republican opponent, of course, one opponent didn't show up, and then Ms. Sanchez, my Democratic opponent. When I finished speaking, there were people who came up to me and said, I cannot vote for you in the primary because I've already voted Republican, but when you make it through in November, we're going to be with you. Because they were surprised to know that there was a Democrat who based their campaign on a scripture, who based their campaign on something that they could relate to, which is family values and having more income. And when I stood up and said, I based my campaign on Micah 6:8, which says, what does God require of you but to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with him, they were shocked. Even my opponent's wife came over and said, I've never met a Democrat running who is faithful, who is a Christian, who lives her faith. That's a great transition right there. Faith meets faith no matter where your party is.
Now, you're right about that. But do you have any faith in the president of the United States?
I have faith in the office of the presidency.
So if you got up in Washington, D.C., could you work with 45?
I can work with 45 as long as we have something in common to work towards. I do not have to like a person personally to work toward a common goal for the good of the citizens in District 6. If he's willing to work with me on something for District 6 benefit, then I will test the waters with District 6. We'll call them. We'll have town halls. We'll work it. And if it's in their best interest, we'll do it. If the majority says it, we'll do it. But I'm not just going to go there and rubber stamp and lay over and lay down, let him roll over. I see myself as a check and a balance to his power. Because remember, there's three parts of government. There's the presidency, which is the executive branch. There's the Supreme Court, which is judicial branch. And there's a legislative branch, which is Congress and the Senate. And it is our job to be a check on the presidency to make sure he doesn't overrun his powers, which is what's happening right now.
So you think he's overrun his powers?
Yes, sir.
You got a list of things? Or we don't have that much time.
We don't have that much time. You're right. Because I can get started right now. Okay?
Now, economics. In America, everything revolves around economics.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an economic plan for us?
Oh, my goodness, yes. I'm excited about this one thing, and it's small. I'd like to bring back CETA. Do you remember CETA? CETA worked, didn't it? The Comprehensive Education and Training Act is something we need to revisit. And when I'm elected, I will go and find out how to introduce a new CETA program, because CETA program made transitions for people that were unemployed or underemployed to gain new skills. And then we had a work OJT component that helped people find jobs after they got trained. So it filled the gap for a lot of people that are running around now looking for jobs and can't get training because they can't afford it, or as they go into some of those private colleges that are just ripping them off, taking their money. CETA was free. And it was a program to lift all boats, rise, or make all tides rise. And I've seen the productivity in building trades. I've seen the productivity in education. I've seen the productivity in medical fields. CETA was a across-the-board success. I'd like to reinstitute CETA. I'm also looking at doing private-public partnerships that would create job training. In addition to that, I want to see high school students finish with a 2-year degree, free now, not costing their parents any money. They're doing it right now, right here in Arlington, at Arlington's Collegiate High School. Students are graduating this month with a high school diploma and an associate degree, and the parents paid nothing. I'd like to see that happen for us across District 6. Also, I'd like to see more of our students graduate in high school with a certificate in building trades, or with a certificate in HVAC, or with a certificate in aerospace engineering, or aerospace mechanics. But right now, when they finish, they're too young to go into an apprentice program where they can start earning some money, which could help build our economy. I'm wanting to build our economy from the ground up. I want to work with businesses and local governments and state governments to make that happen. I'm a member of the chamber as well as a member of a teacher organization. So I want to cross all lines to build up our district.
There's 2 people in this race.
Yes.
I'm just saying if you should not win, you're not victorious, would you support your opponent?
I will support her because she's a Democrat. At least she says she is, even though she didn't vote Democratic primary in 2016. She's running under the banner. I will support the party. I will support the nominee.
You say she was a Republican?
She voted the Republican primary in 2016. She told me she did. It's not something a rumor. She said it just like I'm talking to you. She told me in January 2017 that she voted in the Democratic primary during the time Trump was running.
Y'all that close where y'all just call each other up?
No, she came over to announce to me that she was running. And so in our conversation, being the good conversationalist that I am, I was able to extract that information from her to me.
Okay. Now, this campaign is
it's also on record at Ellis County Elections Office.
Oh, so people can
file an open records report and they can get a copy.
Now, why is this campaign going between you two so strenuous like this?
I don't understand because I'm busy trying to win. God, what are we doing, Faith? See there, we're busy running and working. I don't know why it's strenuous.
Well, this whole campaign is I wouldn't say it's mudslinging, but it's very.
It's full of tension, isn't it? Well, I don't know why it's that way. I know that this is the first race that I've run where the county chairman has called me because my opponent has been calling and trying to get me thrown off the ballot. I can say that much. It's the first time that's happened. I haven't asked for her to be thrown off.
May 14th.
May 22nd.
May 22nd.
Is election day. May 14th is early voting. May 14th, you're right. May 14th, Monday is early voting. That's why I carry this around. May 22nd is a runoff, but you can beat the runoff. Please don't wait till May 22nd. Go May 14th or May 18th. You only have 5 days to vote for Ruby Faye Woolridge for Congress District 6. Remember, I go all the way with Ruby Faye to the United States Congress.
Okay. As we go to a closing, could you explain?
Oh, is it time it goes already?
Well, you know what? I'll give you a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Man.
All right. Thank you.
I'll give you a couple more minutes.
All right.
Since you said it like that.
You know, I enjoy visiting with you.
Why is that?
Because I know you and you're fun.
Okay. Now, this campaign, and we're really going to have to close.
Okay.
But this campaign has been one of those barnstormers.
Yes, it has been. Yes.
Explain to the public that's on Facebook Live why we should be voting for you.
Well, I believe that people want experience. They do want a fresh vision, but they want one that is qualified and they want one that is experienced. I have experience in District 6 for over 34 years. I've been here. I've raised my boys here. I raised my sons in the public schools in this area. My oldest gave his life for his country in 2014. He died as a result of his service in the Army. We believe in this country. We believe in service. I'm also believing that people want a person who has had to go through the struggles of living in District 6 for the past 3 decades. On the other side, my opponent spent 20 years in the United Kingdom. I've been here going through the changes and the transitions that have occurred in District 6. When I first moved into District 6, which was in 1984, things were booming. Jobs were open. Everybody was talking great things about the public schools. They were talking about all the good things going on. That's not the same scenario that's going on in 2018. So I want to restore that. I want to bring back well-paying jobs to District 6. I want to stop the export of good-paying jobs overseas. I want to clamp down on the companies that are doing that. I want to protect our families. I want to make sure that when our veterans go and fight for the country, they don't have to come back and fight for benefits for themselves that they've already earned by their blood, sweat, and tears on the interviews of the theater of war. I want to make sure that our senior citizens are taken care of and not worried about their health care. I want to provide a thing called Medicare for All, which provides low-cost medicine as well as low-cost insurance and low-cost co-pays. I'm fighting to make sure immigrants have a legal pathway to go from being what they call an immigrant to full citizenship. We can do that. I'm looking at affordable housing. That's something else we need to work on. I'm wanting to make sure that all our families have a better quality of life in District 6 than they did last year. I want to make sure that we go forward together. Remember, all the way with Ruby Faye.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Woolridge. I appreciate you for coming on the show. I would like to also thank all of those that are tuning in through Facebook Live right now that we see that popped up on the screen. Keep in mind on this portal, you can go ahead and text in your questions and we'll be able to answer those or get those forwarded to the guests. So thank you, Mark Clark, for joining in. Miss Virginia Eubanks. Thank you, Tony B. Hey, there's radio personality.
All right.
Tony B joining in as well. And TJ Walker joining us for the second trip. And hey, Kendall Henderson, Jasmine Crockett of the Crockett Law Firm.
Hi, Jasmine.
And Belvia Moody has joined us as well. And Charlotte Wooten. All right, there we go. We got you guys on the screen, live, up close and personal, the Commish Radio Show way. We're on our way now to the NAACP installation banquet in Mesquite, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm doing the NAACP.
All
Mesquite,
right.
Texas, where I will be the keynote speaker. Introducing, given the occasion, will be Commissioner John Wiley Price, the real commissioner.
Whoa.
John Wiley Price will be given the
Fantastic. He's a great
we'll
speaker.
see that in Victoria Neve. She will be there as well. And I would like to say again, thank you for tuning in, listening in. And I'm sure your opponent is listening in too.
I'm sure she is.
She'll be back here next week as well. So
All
we're
right.
going to have her on the show next week. Stay tuned on Monday, Paula Rosales. I will also be talking about the that shooting in Grand Prairie in which the gentleman was shot and he was killed, and it turned out that he didn't raise his weapon up. He didn't raise his weapon up. We'll talk about that. So we will have the attorney for the gentleman on next week as well. And closing out, we'd like to thank you and tell all the people at home a happy Mother's Day and enjoy this weekend.
And vote on Monday.
Play some music and we will be out. Let's go
Bye,
ahead and run
Sean.
2-3 drops and we're out.
I know it's the only way to go. And if I keep walking, I'ma be okay.
Hello, my name is Minister Dominique Alexander, president of the Next Generation Action Network. And whenever I want to hear the real deal, I'm listening to the Commish Radio Show every Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m.
But it's a dream that I ain't seen.
This is Student Minister Lee Muhammad from Muhammad Mosque number 52 in Fort Worth, Texas. Whenever I want some real information, I tune into the Commish on the Fishbowl Radio Network.
Does a car wreck have you down? you need to call the Car Wreck Cowboy. Attorney Sadat Montgomery with Montgomery Law. The Car Wreck Cowboy. He'll lasso the big insurance companies and fight to get you the settlement you deserve. So in a wreck, call the Car Wreck Cowboy at 855-COWBOY-9. That's 855-269-2699. Or visit carwreckcowboy.com. Official Deathman spokesperson for Montgomery Law, Principal Office, Dallas, Texas.
Wake up, Dallas Fort Worth. This is Ernest Walker, better known as the Black Batman.